I wonder how many times that song has been sung in this room. I looked, I have in the library, I have the 3 previous hymnals that have been here since probably 1901, 1905, something like that. And Morning Has Broken has been in every single one of them. And I wonder how many times that the energy, the people, the awareness in this room has sung and celebrated, it's a new day. It's a brand new day. And here we are, 123 years since those first 13 people met back in the back of what used to be Archer's Glass downtown in that building behind the gazebo. 123 years ago. And they had intention, they had love, they had commitment. And all of the energy, all of the love, all of the commitment, all the trimming bushes, wiping down these pews with Old English, has resulted in, my dear friends, this is ours. It was given to us. What abundance we possess. It takes a lot of work to keep it up, but it's ours. We don't have a mortgage. We owe PG&E every month, and the trash people and me, but we don't have any debt. Do you know how fortunate that makes us? Because 123 years ago, 13 people cared about you and you and you and me. And everyone who has come through those doors in the last century has cared about you and me. May we be so thankful and recognize what a sacred gift we do possess. And so it is.
I like your tie, Patrick.
Well, thank you.
I've been noticing a lot of prayer requests among my friends and acquaintances on Facebook lately, and so I've been thinking a lot about prayer. I think prayer and meditation are closely related. My wife has recently invited me to join her in meditation. I've done it a few times, but not yet often enough to make it a habit. Something else to work on in the new year, along with exercising and eating more sensibly. I have mentioned before that I don't think I pray in the manner that I understand many people do. I don't ask for things, whether it's success or healing or more money or a new job. I figure God already knows that stuff, being omniscient and all. Instead, I start listing the things I am grateful for. The list is vast and unending. There is another thing I do as well. I've mentioned before that I was raised in the Christian Science Church. There is a textbook, Science and Health with Key to the Scriptures, written by Mary Baker Eddy. In it, one can be found what Mary Baker Eddy called the scientific statement of being. I was in my late teens when I decided to memorize this passage. Some of you may be familiar with the Dune series of books written by Frank Herbert. In the series, he writes about a religious sect known as the Bene Gesserit. This is a sect comprised almost entirely of women. Among their teachings, there is what they call the litany against fear. I think of the scientific statement of being as my litany against fear. I say it when I'm afraid. I say it over and over again when I can't sleep. And I also say it as a prayer for the ones I love, as well as all humanity. I have changed the wording slightly, in keeping with being a politically correct young lesbian in the late 70s. So my litany against fear, my prayer, is as follows. There is no life, truth, intelligence, nor substance in matter. All is infinite mind and its infinite manifestation, for God is all in all. Spirit is immortal truth. Matter is mortal error. Spirit is the real and eternal. Matter is the unreal and temporal. Spirit is God, and woman is her image and likeness. Therefore, woman is not material, she is spiritual.
Thank you very much, Catherine. What a great mini message today. Good morning and welcome to each of you. Good to see some faces we haven't seen in a while. And we have a couple of visitors today. And one of these ladies walked down this very aisle in the 92 as she exchanged the vows of holy wedlock. And Joel Kemmerer was the officiant. Kelly remembers Joel, Bonnie remembers Joel. He actually did the wedding. And that was like 30 years ago. So welcome. Where have you been for the last 3 decades, you know? Oh. Hey, we are having today yes, Bonnie.
I've known Sharon Gilbert. Oh,
You went to kindergarten together, I'll bet. Okay. Well, welcome, dear ladies. We're glad to have you this morning. Today is our 123rd annual meeting. I'm excited. I've been to a lot of annual meetings over the last couple decades, and I've never been as excited as I am today. So just if I act a little goofy today, it's just due to the excitement, so bear with me. I didn't hear that, but that's all right. Probably better that I didn't, huh? Okay. Okay. Today's our annual meeting and potluck. If you didn't bring food, that's okay. We always have plenty. And we just sit around and enjoy each other and have, I think, a really sacred time where we all participate and we share our ideas. And, oh, well, you've heard me talk about that a lot already. So next Saturday night, we're kicking off the 6th year of the Community Cabaret at the Oaks. And we're having, without a doubt, the best band in the county, maybe 2 or 3 counties. Take Your Medicine is going to be here. That happens to be the band I'm in. And my daughter is coming up from Las Vegas. She's in a blues band down there. She's going to join us for the night. We're going to have a lot of fun things. It's free from 5 to 7 o'clock right here in the hall. Bring your own snacks, supper, whatever. Where I invite people to bring hummus casserole. Yeah, you could bring that if you want, if that's your thing. We make popcorn and we have soft drinks and water. We sell for $1. If you don't have $1, that's okay, they're free. It's all about having fun. That's why we started it, and that's why it's still alive. Chorale. Sabrina's going to tell us about the chorale.
We posted a poster for our group. We're trying to, rejuvenate and rebuild after COVID. We're down to a tiny, tiny little a cappella group. We will have a pianist this season, and open to all ages. We meet on Wednesday nights at 7 o'clock. Our practices will begin at the beginning of February, and our performances middle to the 3rd week of May this year. For this season, we have 2 seasons a year and all inclusive. We are not a religious group, and we play broad range of music from old madrigals to tunes and everything in between. And we'd love to have you join us. And if you feel like you can't sing, try it.
And that's at the Burton Center every Wednesday evening over in the B section of Roanoke Park, 7 p.m. Wednesdays.
I'd like to just throw something out. I think the Roanoke Park Chorale, I would invite the Roanoke Park Chorale to have a free dress rehearsal open rehearsal in our hall and invite public to join us. And I think, and I have a keyboard if you'd want to use it, and for your pianist, and I think that would be a great thing if you would do that, if you would consider it.
Before COVID, we would take some mini concerts, like a practice concert ahead of our public performance into several of the senior homes in town here. And that's a beautiful way. I'll pass it on.
All right, thank you. Healing Circle. It's going to begin again.
Yes, at first Monday night in February
Okay,
at 7 p.m. here in the sanctuary.
okay, all right.
How often after that?
I guess we're gonna do it weekly.
Weekly?
Yeah. I think that's just what I need to commit to.
Let's see.
So I'm glad I put your feet to the fire.
Others have made
Every
same
Monday at
requests.
7 p.m. right here.
Yes, Monday.
And we have a Thursday spiritual book study group.
Well, we just met, so it won't be until the Thursday after the one coming.
Okay,
So I won't have a date.
so it'll be like the second or something like that. First, second. Okay. Any other announcements?
Remember the food barrel.
Oh, yes, the Noah Food Barrel is over there, and people get hungry all the time, so we can continuously put our food donations in that and call Noah, and they'll come pick it up for us. And,
Speaking of Noah, we made our quarterly tithe to them this last quarter, and they sent us a very nice thanks from Neighbors Organized Against Hunger, and it's personalized, and they did it on the computer and then printed it and attached it here, and basically saying thank you so much for the generous donation of $300. We give $300 a quarter to some deserving organization in our area. And they are always needing more food, and they were very gracious. And I'll have this at the board meeting, or I'll have this over there this afternoon.
Okay.
When we're eating, in case anyone wants to read it.
all right, any other announcements? Well, if not, let's stand up, and as we sing this song in this very room, think about everything that has happened in this very room in 123 years. It's mind-boggling. Let's stand and sing in this very room. And if you are visiting or here for the first time, do not be frightened. But now is the time when we greet each other in a traditional Church of the Oaks fashion.
Susan here are gonna be for my first day.
We have such abundance in this family. And do you remember how long it's been, Bonnie or Wayne or Kelly? I think about 8 years. We haven't passed a basket at Church of the Oaks. We allow everyone to share and make a conscious choice to share their abundance. We have a basket in the back if you want to do that, but it's your choice. Let's read together our before we do that, I just want to think about something that I was talking with Wayne the other day. We were talking about tithing and giving, and we talk about it so often as sharing. And I said, I don't look at it that way, Wayne. I look as my financial tithing in the different places that I do that. I look at it as that's the significance and a way that I can demonstrate and show my gratitude for everything that flows through me, just like Catherine was talking about this morning. Gratitude. It's the greatest thing in life experience, I think. So let's read together our affirmation of abundance, will we? Gratitude is the key to the realization and manifestation of abundance. May we ponder that wisdom, sir. As we prepare ourselves for our time of practice, let's sing together, Only Believe, 152 in the wings.
Only believe. Good morning, friends. Many of you know that I have a lot of training as an energy healer, as an intuitive, someone who sees and is aware of energy. And I've always seen the frequency of gratitude as a golden color. And sometimes I think it's easier to connect with that frequency here in this beautiful sanctuary at Church of the Oaks because it's so infused with that kind of golden light. So let's just, and I want to say too, sometimes, we know we need to focus more on gratitude. We might notice our mental state kind of going where we don't want it to. But it's hard to make yourself get there, if you're not feeling it already. So I always say, don't think of it as something you need to do. Just invite in the frequency and let that start to do the work for you. So I'd like to do that for our practice today. Everyone just close your eyes, and as we so often do, let's take a couple of deep breaths together. And actually, as we're breathing in, let's visualize golden light of gratitude coming into our bodies, into our minds. And as we breathe out, anything that doesn't match that frequency also goes out, down to the center of the earth to be transformed. Breathing in gratitude. Breathing out anything you're ready to release. And as you continue this practice, see if you can let that golden light of gratitude expand so that it's not just filling your lungs. It's filling your entire, what I would call your space, your energy field, your aura. That manifestation of spirit, in fact, contains your body. So I would say that on the one hand, yes, it's true that spirit is real and matter is illusion, but matter, you could say, is an illusion created by spirit for a purpose. By calling in gratitude in this way, we align ourselves with our divine blueprint. That imprint of perfection, that is who we truly are. Breathe in that gratitude deeper this time. Breathe it out. Let it flow through you as a frequency. And as we go into our weeks after today's meeting, I encourage you to do this first before you write your gratitude list and see what happens. See if it becomes easier, more rich. And sealing this gratitude in with your hands over your heart. Be grateful now for this community and for the gift of simply being here. Sealed in trust and faith. Amen.
Natalie and Wayne, thank you. The unlimited possibilities that we have based upon everything that's happened on this corner for 123 years. The quotes on the bottom of your order of service, I hope that you take some time and read those. And the last one's very short, preserving the heritage and promoting the future. That's kind of the job of our board and our collectively as a membership, as a family. But we've done a lot of evolving in 123 years. We started off as the satellite Congregational Church of Sebastopol. And that was, people just got tired of driving their mules and wagons and horses in the mud all the way in the rain, all the way over to Sebastopol every Sunday. So they decided there were enough of them here, 13, to start a satellite here in Cotati. That lasted for a year, and then they enjoyed their independence and broke away from the Sebastopol Church and just became the Congregational Church of Cotati, Incorporated. And to this date, we're the oldest active corporation in this town. This building right here was built in 1907. It's the oldest building in this town, never have been totally remodeled and restructured and changed. There's some older buildings that started before that, but they've been totally rechanged and they're restructured. But there was something about the commitment that those 13 people had. They could have gotten off building like something the size of a little garage, like the garage that sits over by our Rose Cottage. That would have been plenty big enough for 13 people. They could have done it in a week or two. But they had us in mind. Their children, their grandchildren, their great-grandchildren, the people of this community. Because they built this in 1907, they built that in 1910, and I think in 1921, the city school burnt down, which is where City Hall is now. And Church of the Oaks, our hall, was where they held school in this town for about 6 years. A lot of evolving, a lot of experiences, wars, floods, earthquakes, everything you can think of. But there's one bit of evolving that I'm caught up in. Vivian kind of started it. And that is, we stopped telling people what to believe and what to think. And it's a very fine line. We try to find things that we believe to be truth. That's my job, is to find those things, find examples, find behavior patterns, thoughts, books, all kinds of experiences that might help us enrich our lives. But every one of us is different, like snowflakes. You've heard that. And I don't think there's any one set of rules that work for 8 billion people that walk and breathe air on this planet. Everybody has to kind of learn what works for them and fits into their whole scheme of life choices and decisions. And that's different for every person. But I believe there are some spiritual truths. But that works out well for me. May not work out well for Wayne. And that's the beauty of this community. Vivian and I sat down 18 years ago and said, we've got to encourage people to think, but be careful never to tell them what to think. That allows us to make choices, be free thinking, figure out what works well for us. And sometimes that's a bit of a challenge, and sometimes I step over the line and I think, oh, what was I trying to do? Tell them to think like I think? No, no, no. Please don't. Think like you think. Because our society has, over the last 100 years, really worked to condition us not to think. Just to be part of the herd and go make money, pay our taxes, and believe everything our government tells us and our leaders tell us, because they know what's right, I'm sure. Or do they? I don't think. I think only we individually know what's right for us. And that's why Vivian said every Sunday that I can remember, question your beliefs. Are they your beliefs, or did they sound cool and you took somebody else's belief and called it your own? Have we really given thought to the cause and effect of what we call beliefs inside of us? Does it work well for us? Or does it keep us in constant upheaval, frustration? I was talking with someone the other day who was having huge trouble calming themselves down. And then things got busy and I couldn't continue it. So I'm gonna bump on that a little bit today. Something that I learned. I don't know if it's right, wrong, doesn't make any difference. But I know when I heard it, it helped me to kind of lose the drama on the end of a day. In 1984, I started to work for a printing company in San Francisco. It was a place called Allen's Reproduction at 3rd and Brannan. And it was run by two gentlemen, Woody North, who was the general manager. He was kind of like an Alfred Hitchcock looking kind of guy. Very arrogant, crude, and rude, and right in your face all the time. You never had to guess what Woody was thinking about. He'd let you know. And the other gentleman was the production manager and partner, and his name was Bill Wong. And he was a very intelligent, very humble, one of the best bosses I ever had because he didn't hardly boss. He was Asian, he was Chinese. And one day I was kind of learning how to take over the back shop because I could do everything. And so I was in a meeting with them and we talked about the production schedule and one thing, and Woody said, "Bill Wong, I'm curious about something." He said, "Give me 1 or 2 sentences and sums up the Buddhist philosophy." Well, no pressure there. So Bill thought for a minute, and he said, "If I had to sum it all up in a sentence or two," he said, "Woody, I think that if at the end of your day you can think that you gave the day and all of its challenges your best, then you can let go of the challenges and the frustration and go to sleep in confidence that everything was going to be all right because you gave it your best." Wow. I think there have been people in the Buddhist philosophy for hundreds of years that could not have done a better job of summing it all up in a way that so many people could just understand without spending years of their life studying. And on nights when I've had really, really bad days, and I get ready to call it a day, and it's like, oh, it's just going to end today. No, it's probably going to carry over tomorrow. I think about Bill Wong. And I ask myself, did I give it my best today? And if I did, I can take all that worry, all that chaos, and set it on the nightstand. It'll be there tomorrow. And I can go to sleep tonight knowing that everything's going to be all right. What a great sentiment. And I don't know if that'll work for any of you. It's just something that I learned. And I'm not a practicing, believing Buddhist. No, not at all. Don't have the labels. But I think there is such wisdom in so many cultures, in so many theologies, so many philosophies. You know, you look back at the times of Socrates and Plato and all they spent decades pondering and thinking and considering. They actually took the time to think. They didn't just Google it and take somebody else's opinion or definition. They actually thought things through for themselves. And I think that's one of the lovely characteristics of this family in this room today. We actually take the time to consider and think. Sabrina's one of my favorite people in this congregation, because I'll talk about something and she'll come to the back. Now, I disagree with you. I brought this over and I thought, she thought about what I said. I get a gold star, she gets a gold star. She actually gave thought to what I said. Doesn't agree. That's fine. I don't want people to agree. I want you to think. And when I think about what I'm sharing with you, I have to think, oh, is this trying to get people to think a certain way? Or is it just encourage them to think, to consider? I certainly don't stand up here and tell you, I'm right. I've got 3 ex-wives that'll surely have a different aspect of what I am. But my job is to look throughout all the wisdom that I can look at, and the wisdom that I have picked up in all these years of living, and share. See what you think. I've had a lot of businesses in my life, and I don't know so much about what makes a business work, but I can give you lists and lists of things that make it not work very well. And I think all of us are that way. When we look back at our lives, Wayne and I were just talking a little bit before the service. He said, well, I did some things I'm not so proud of, but then I did some other things that I feel a lot better about it. And I think all of us are that way. We have been living our lives, trying stuff out. Some of it works really well. And we take that on as, that's the way I'm going to make the decisions next time. Some of it not so good. And we have the opportunity to make shifts and changes in our lives. So my dear friends, as we go next door and we sit down together and we break bread, some of the bread's already broken. We don't have to break it at all. We can just eat. And we talk with each other. And we share our thoughts and our ideas. You never know what's going to be a little spark that lights up a whole room or a whole path in our life journey we didn't even know existed. And it happens. And I think it has happened to every person in this room, or you wouldn't be here. There is something so grand, so thrilling about the energy and the possibility of the unseen. Whoa. It's breathtaking. So we're going to stand up here in a moment. We're going to sing, I've got the joy, 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 joy down in my heart. We've got a lot to be joyful about. 123 years of heritage, of commitment, of loving that has been gifted to us. And joy is a really unique thing because you can take it with you. It's invisible, and you can be clear full of joy. And you can take it with you, and you can share it with anybody. It's an infinite supply. You can just keep sharing it. And I've noticed the only time that we lose that awareness of joy is when we shift our awareness to what we don't have, to sadness, to anger, to envy, to judgment. Where there are a lot of people, more than I can count, more than I can even imagine, that have shared their joy with this community, have shared their commitment, their sharing, their time, their talent, their thought, and their treasures with this community for 123 years, that we might sit here warm and cozy and smile. Smile with joy, smile with gratitude, smile with love and affection for each person in this room. I don't think anyone could be more fortunate in a life experience than to have what we have here today. Let's stand up and sing The Joy in My Heart.